Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 6th day of January 2024. Happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you are safe and healthy, and that your family enjoyed their weekend, and that they're safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography and child pornography, prostitution and child prostitution, and human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that drive the demands for these evil industries. Also, double blessings on the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, senior citizens, homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's going to be a basketball game tonight in Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks are going to be playing the Orlando Magic today. Now, the Magic are coming into a situation that's very similar to what the Knicks suffered last year. And Jamal Mosley is now in Tom Thibodeau's position. Last year, Tom Thibodeau basically pushed with 6 dudes for a key part of the season and still came in second in the East. This year, as of tonight, for example, there's only going to be 2 guys that are regular starters playing for the Magic. That would be Wendell Carter and Contavious Caldwell-Pope. That's it. Now, even last night, they lost to Utah 105-92, and they had Wendell Carter coming off the bench for 19 minutes. I don't know if that's because Wendell Carter's just coming off an injury, but I expect Wendell Carter Jr. to start. So of their regular starting 5, only 2 guys will be playing. Of their regular rotation, you add those 2 plus Jonathan Isaac and Cole Anthony. So basically, of their 9-man rotation, only 4 guys are going to be available. Last night they played again. They're coming off the second night. Today will be the second game of a back-to-back. They played in Orlando last night again and they lost 105-92. And now they're coming up to Madison Square Garden to play the Knicks with basically 2 starters and 4 guys from their rotation. They've been playing Tristan Da Silva. Cole Anthony started last night. Caleb Houston started last night. I mentioned Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter. They also played Corey Joseph, Trevin Queen, and Jett Howard. Anthony Black didn't play because he was hurt yesterday. So they're depleted. They're scrappy. They're gritty. Jamal Mosley's doing a tremendous job, as Tom Thibodeau did last year in a similar situation. And they're coming off the second night of a back-to-back. So this is going to be difficult for them. The Knicks also Jalen Brunson is listed as probable, so he's going to play. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, that both Deuce McBride and Karl Anthony Towns do not play. Let's just assume they sit today. So then what you're going to have is you're going to have 4 of your 5 starters. You're going to have OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, and of course, Jalen Brunson. You have an option. You could start Precious Achiuwa, and then you'll have still Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet on your bench, and you could either put Jericho Sims or Hoop Porty on your bench at that point. I'm not sure what time, based on how he usually does things, not based on what we want, which a lot of y'all keep always pushing what you want instead of what is probable. So what's probable is how Thibodeau usually does things. And in these scenarios, he'll bring forth Jericho Sims first. Now, he'll either start Precious and bring Sims off the bench with Payne and Shamet, or he'll start Jericho and bring Precious, Payne, and Shamet off the bench. In either scenario, the Knicks are in really better condition than Orlando is. Of course, they cannot take Orlando lightly, but in either situation, the Knicks are in a better place than Orlando. They're sitting at home waiting for Orlando. Orlando's coming into this game the second night of a back-to-back with a depleted team. But again, when you're in the NBA and you see these situations, you treat a team like Orlando like a wounded bear that's protecting her cubs. So they're going to come in fighting. Okay, so you cannot take this game lightly. But it looks like a good possibility, a higher percentage chance in favor of the Knicks than in favor of Orlando. So if you have to rest your guys, this is a good day to do it because you can rest Cat, you can rest Deuce, and you can have them come in ready for Wednesday night. This is a week where the Knicks are going to be playing 3 games in 5 nights. So they play Orlando at home, and again, all the games are going to be at home. So they play Orlando at home tonight, they play Toronto at home on Wednesday, and they repeat Oklahoma City on Friday, all at home, okay? So they're playing 3 games in 5 nights. Not an easy schedule, but it's all at home, so that helps a lot. So if you're going to rest guys like Gato and Deuce, tonight's a good night to do it. Tonight's a good night to do it. Playing the depleted Orlando team that's only got 2 of their starters playing and have basically 4 or 5 of their whole rotation available. This is a night to do it, okay? So we'll see how the Knicks handle this, but either way, I think they'll be fine. And apparently, it's a sore patella tendon in his knee is what's bothering Gato at this point. I would rest him. So you're getting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and all of Wednesday to get treatment and rest. That would be good. For the hamstring for Deuce, it started last week when they were playing Utah. He sat out the Utah game. So he as of this coming Wednesday, he would have been out a week. If it's a mild hamstring strain, and I'm not a doctor, but just from my own experience, a hamstring can be up to 2 weeks. Or, in the case of Precious, he really messed his up, and he was out 21 games, 22 games. But Deuce they keep having him listed as questionable. So I got to figure it's not as serious as what Precious's hamstring was. And again, we know hamstrings are tricky, but usually a week of treatment will get a professional player prepared to come back. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sat Deuce one more time to get him ready for Wednesday. Use Wednesday to get everybody back in the flow and be ready for our revenge game against Oklahoma City on Friday. So the Knicks are looking like they're in good shape. There's a favorable part of the schedule in terms of their being at home, and there's no back-to-backs this week. So they're at home, no back-to-backs. They can get treatment. Like I said, if you're going to sit Gato and if you're going to sit Deuce, this is a good night to do it. You can get both guys rested. You still be in a strong position to beat your opponent today. And so that's how they can handle this. So we will see how Tibbs does it tonight. Whether if Gato sits, whether he starts Jericho or starts Precious. But as I mentioned, either way, the Knicks are in good shape. Either way, they're in good shape. And you would expect Brunson to be Brunson and be taking most of the shots. But lately, Mikal Bridges has really come on offensively. And OG, he's always pretty consistent. Defensively, he's very consistent. But offensively, he's pretty consistent, especially if he gets open threes, which he's still going to get, even without Gato in the game. Because of Brunson, he's still going to get open threes. I expect Josh Hart to come out with Josh Hart energy. That's his whole game, is Charlie Hustle. He was not at his highest level on Saturday night and still had 16 boards. I'm expecting a very similar scenario. In fact, I'm expecting more energy today. This is a guy that doesn't need a whole lot of rest, and he had a whole day yesterday. He's going to have a whole day today. I think he'll be all right. And so, you get him some Mike and Ikes and send him out there. I think he'll be good. So it's looking like a positive scenario for the Knicks. They got to execute. They got to play defense. They got to play perimeter defense. They got to rebound the basketball. They got to keep the turnovers low. That's the game. Again, that's normal for Tom Thibodeau teams, and that's what we're looking at today. It's looking favorable. So but I don't want to count chickens before they hatch, right? So let's just get this game done. Let's get this dub, get our guys rested, and get going for the next game. First game is tonight. If they win tonight, they will be 25-12. Right now, as it stands, The Knicks are solidly third in the East. They have 4 full games on the Magic. They are 2 full games behind Boston. Okay, Boston is playing Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City. I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. I know they're playing Oklahoma City. Let me just double check. I think they're in Oklahoma City. Let me just double check that. No, they're playing, I'm sorry. They just lost Oklahoma City yesterday. They're playing Denver at Denver tomorrow. Yes, the Celtics are playing Denver at Denver tomorrow. The Celtics are 5-5 in their last 10. And they're at Denver tomorrow, just coming off a tough loss at Oklahoma City yesterday. Oklahoma City now the hottest team in the NBA, 15 straight. But Boston is 5-5 in their last 10. They just lost Oklahoma City, so tomorrow they're at Denver. So the Knicks, if they can win tonight, can pick up a half game on Boston. Okay, there'll be a half game out of the second seed. If Boston loses tomorrow and the Knicks win tonight, the Knicks will be 1 game away from the second seed. It's going to be a dogfight from here on. So we take every half game we could take. Okay, so this is how it is, and this is a favorable part of the schedule for the Knicks. They could take advantage, and like I said, they win tonight. They're 25-12. That'd be very good. Okay, and Cleveland is playing Oklahoma City. That I know. That's what it was. I was confusing the two. Cleveland is playing Oklahoma City tomorrow, Wednesday. They're playing at Cleveland. Oklahoma's coming to Cleveland on Wednesday. That's going to be a game right there. That's going to be a game. After that, Cleveland really has it's pretty good schedule. Toronto, then they play Indiana twice, though. They play in Indiana on the 14th, but they got all kind of days off. And so, yeah, they have a pretty favorable schedule, but they play Oklahoma City, at Indiana, at Oklahoma City. So they play Oklahoma City twice, at Minnesota. Minnesota's struggling, but they're still dangerous. At Houston, at Philly. We'll see about that. And then they're at home against Houston, and they play at home against Phoenix. So they got a decent schedule. They're getting some time off, but we'll see how this works out. So it's going to be a dogfight for the top 3 in the East from this point on. Orlando's going to start to make a move. Paolo Banchero is now practicing. He's not ready to return yet. But you got to figure they'll get Banchero and Franz Wagner back by the end of the month, just like we're getting Mitch Rob. And certainly they'll be there for the stretch run. So you got those 2 guys plus Wendell Carter. I don't know about Suggs, but those 3 guys is enough for them to make a run, especially they got a healthy Cole Anthony. So tonight's a good night for us to be facing them without those guys. And we got a good part of our schedule. So set up nice for the Knicks right now. Let's hope we can get this W tonight and go to 25-12. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you all soon. Shalom.